Hey guys, it's Nightwing19 here with my review for episode 3 of Arrow. Now, I'm going to give you a recap of the episode, give you my overall rating, and then I'll discuss some of the things that happened in this episode, and then right down to my top 5 moments. So, starting with the recap, with no more leads in Sarah's murder, Oliver focuses his attention on bringing Thea home. Felicity is able to track her to an island known as Corto Maltese. Oliver finds Thea working at a restaurant, but she refuses to return to Starling City. While she waits to convince Thea to return, Oliver assists Diggle on a mission for Argus to ascertain the whereabouts of one of its field agents, Mark Shaw. The agent informs Diggle that someone broke into Argus's databases and stole information to sell on the black market. Later, Shaw double-crosses Diggle and reveals that he was the one that is stealing Argus' secrets. Felicity helps Oliver and Diggle track down Shaw, and they stop him from selling any secrets. After a last-minute plea and Oliver revealing the truth about how their father died, Thea agrees to return to Starling City. Meanwhile, trying to emulate her sister, Laurel attempts to exact vengeance on an abusive husband of a fellow AA member, but she's no match and ends up in the hospital. Later, she seeks out boxer Ted Grant to train her to fight after Oliver's refusal. In flashbacks to 6 months prior, Malcolm begins training Thea to calm her mind and heal her emotional pain, while also mastering control over physical pain. So, overall, I'm giving this episode a 9.5. It was a great episode, a great sequel in a sense to episode 6 of season 2 when they had went to Russia. The scenery and the shot angles, the camera angles that they were doing in this episode was just amazing. So I really loved that. That's what added on to my liking of this episode. Primarily, I'm not sure if Thea is working against Oliver or they're plotting something with Malcolm. I think Thea this season is just going to be humanizing Malcolm Merlyn. Like, Malcolm Merlyn has done all this wrong. He's killed 503 people due to this earthquake, and now Thea is going to be here humanizing Malcolm. So I don't think that they're plotting anything major, but I feel like their storyline is going to be somehow a bit off connected to the main storyline of this season. So in this episode, we got to see Ted Grant for the first time, who in the comics is Wildcat. Wildcat has trained many of the Justice Leaguers, and he's also trained Laurel in the comics, Black Canary. So we kind of see that like source material being brought into Arrow now, Ted Grant training Laurel to become the Black Canary. So I can't wait to see so many great scenes with them. They're teasing that they're supposed to have some sort of relationship, but I'm not digging it in a sense. Wildcat in the comics is older than Black Canary, way older than them, so they don't really have a sexual relationship, more like a friendship relationship, like a father-son or daughter relationship. And then there's O.M.A.C, the weird blueprints that Ray Palmer was looking at. So O.M.A.C is something in the comics. O.M.A.C is just a reduction of Brother Eye. Brother Eye is this giant satellite that Wayne Enterprises had created that later goes rogue and has the access files of all the superheroes in the world, and can find their weaknesses. So O.M.A.C, they're just a bunch of units that Brother Eye produces to fight off against these Justice Leaguers. So if one of these O.M.A.C units was fighting Superman, he would know that Superman's weakness is kryptonite, so that they can use that weakness of Superman to defeat him. In a sense, you can say that O.M.A.C is similar to A.M.A.C, but really they're not. A.M.A.C can copy the powers of any superhero. So say Superman uses his heat vision, or Flash runs around him and stuff, it's super speed, then A.M.A.C can pretty much mimic that. He can't really use something against them, he's just using what they had used. Whereas O.M.A.C, they have the powers of that specific superhero and they can use some sort of weaknesses against them. So Ray Palmer, this could go two ways for him. One, he's probably using this to defend Starling City as a last resort. Not really in the sense of for metahumans, since that is being dealt with in The Flash, but these are just weapons that can be used to find weaknesses within army. Like with the Miracle Army, he could use those specific weapons, those drones or whatever they were, and find their weaknesses in that whole army. The other way this could work out for Ray Palmer is that these are old archives within Queen Consolidated that have never been accessed probably since Robert Queen was around, and he's probably just looking into that kind of mystery in a sense. They were teasing in a sense, like he was evil for a moment, but I don't think that's the case. Ray Palmer isn't evil in the comics. He could be doing something outside of his morals in that kind of way, but I don't think he's purely evil. So, now into my top 5 moments, starting with number 5, Laurel, Beta Black Canary. I love this scene very much. You know, she was wearing the jacket, she had the mask, and she used the bat instead of the bow staff that Sarah uses. But you know, it was a really great scene. I really love seeing this, and I hope that we see Laurel become the Black Canary sometime soon, maybe beyond the mid-season finale. Number 4, the flashbacks. So we got to see how Thea has been training for the past 6 months. You know, she was pretty much burning her hand in a sense to conquer physical pain before she could even conquer emotional pain. So I really love seeing that. And then when Merlin had started fighting against her using excessive force, I really loved when Thea had gotten that sword and told him to stay away from him. So that scene, those couple of scenes were amazing as well. I wish they had done more flashback scenes like that, but there was a scene in this episode that kind of makes up for that. Number 3, Oliver and Thea's conversation. So in the market or the restaurant that Thea was working in, Oliver told Thea how Robert had actually died. He had made it out in a life raft and later killed himself due to the fact that there wasn't enough water. So Oliver is trying to get Thea to come back with him to Starling City, but to do that he has to be open to her. There can't be any secrets within them, but Oliver can't tell her everything, or at least he was about to, but then it would make him seem more of a miserable person, like a more bad person for keeping all these secrets away from him. And then he was telling Thea all this time for the past 2 years lies, a bunch of lies. So you can't really tell Thea right away that he is the Arrow. I would say that Thea would be proud of him in a sense. I wouldn't feel like that secret would have kept Thea away from Oliver further, in the sense, you know, Oliver had saved Thea multiple times when he was the Arrow, so he's done some real good in the city. So I think Thea would be proud if Oliver had ever said that he was the Arrow. I don't think she would be mad. Number 2, Thea and Merlin spar. So this is the scene I was talking about that makes up for the lack of flashbacks. You know, we got to see how much of Thea has been training with Merlin. I really loved when he had kicked up the sword, or Merlin's sword, and used it against him. That was freaking amazing. And hopefully we see more scenes of Thea. I'm not sure what kind of persona she is. In the episode they did call her Mia, and I think that that's the direction that they're going to. She's going to be the Mia Dearden character. The Mia Dearden character later takes up the Speedy persona after Roy had moved on to become the Arsenal. And my number 1 moment, Team Arrow versus Shaw. So this is great scenery, more shot angles. You know, we see Oliver using that gun, and I don't think he had killed them. He was just shooting them in the shoulder. So that was really great as well. I just really love seeing Oliver take out the Sellers, Diggle going after Shaw, and then Roy going after several other soldiers. And that is it for my review for episode 3 of The Arrow. But what did you guys think? Did you like this episode? Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, I'll be doing reviews for all episodes of Arrow. Be sure to subscribe. Subscribe to my other channel, Dearden950, for fandom vids. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for updates on Arrow, The Flash, and more. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.